If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Happy Friday from Morning Crankers. I'm Hans.
It's good, and it's the end of the week.
Yeah, it's time one more day to get through and then go to the weekend.
It's Friday.
Yeah, I mean, you got any plans this weekend?
Working.
Just working.
Story of my life right now.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of weird. It's good. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. You know what I'm saying.
No. I'm a workaholic right now.
Is that what it is?
It has to be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could it be anything else, though?
Can't be nothing else right now.
Nothing.
Nothing. That's all I'm doing. Between working here and working there, and that's about it.
But weren't you trying to, go on a date this weekend or something?
I wanted to.
And it just didn't work out?
No.
So is it okay for me to say to the ladies out there, Gred, let's give you a good description for them if they want to take you on a date.
6'4", got a little red on the head.
And gray.
And gray.
Would you call yourself a silver fox?
I would.
That you're a silver fox then?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like to do?
Oh, I just like to go out and have fun. That's all I want to do.
What are you having fun doing?
I'm adventurous. I like to hike. I like to walk.
You are a walker.
Yeah, and I do like to hike too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think you're kind of a catch. I mean, you could be a catch for somebody.
Yeah, that's possible.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
everything's possible in this world.
Well, it is what it is. But I'm thinking that maybe that there's somebody out there listening that would be like, Gred's my dream date.
Right.
Do you think?
I hope so, but who knows?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. You like going to concerts, too.
Oh, I love going to concerts.
So isn't it weird that a middle-aged single guy with a future in front of him, really good job, hard worker, they're the guys that don't have dates?
Yeah, and that's me.
But if you take the guys that don't really work,
right,
they bounce job to job, couch surfing with their friends, but they got a cute earring and, what they got girls.
I know. Makes no sense. It's like the world's upside down.
It is a little bit, I think.
At times.
Speaking of the world being upside down, it's National Future Generations Day.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of a weird one.
Well, it's nice because, and that's what our future is based on.
Well, this is a brand new one because National Future Generations Day was founded in 2025 by the Moore Institute. It's National Memory Day.
Yeah, I need that.
I've got a terrible memory. You got a good memory?
My memory is almost shot anymore.
Well, it's the short-term memory that gets me.
It is me too. And that's what kills me because I can remember things from the past, but can't remember just what I did the other day.
Right. Well, as long as you're not like, did I just shite my pants? As long as you're not to that point, you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are new medical research papers coming out all the time about Memory Day. You want to know the most fascinating thing that I have read? I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that I read it and it kind of makes sense.
What's that?
Is that for years we were told to stay away from fat. Like on your pork chops, cut the fat off. On your steak, cut the fat off. Now they're showing that fat is actually important to your body, specifically your brain. And by not having enough fat in your diet, that it actually, because cholesterol, your brain's made up of cholesterol and water. That's pretty much what it is.
Right.
And when you don't have enough cholesterol, it actually starts affecting your memory.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you remember it was like a year and a half ago, you went on that date and your old pal didn't perform?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, what if the reason that the PAL didn't perform was because the brain wasn't telling it to perform because you didn't eat enough fat?
Could have been.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so then you go past that and you look at our food pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay, the food pyramid is all the leading scientists and nutritionists out there say it's a complete farce. It's been a complete farce. It was a marketing tool for them to sell stuff.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe a lot of it.
So now, is our food poison, or has the bureaucracy, which was helping certain companies win, were they doing that to the American people? Or, you know what I'm saying?
I believe it's a little bit of both.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's National French Bread Day. Are you a French bread guy?
Yeah.
See, I like French bread with Italian seasonings on the top.
I like it with spaghetti and
Oh, yeah. Oh,
meatballs.
yeah. It's National Countdown Day. It's National California Strawberry Day.
Yeah.
Now, I love strawberries.
I do too.
You know, it's National Fragrance Day. National Common Courtesy Day. Boy, there is something right there. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
National Common Courtesy.
You don't see a lot of it anymore.
Well, tell me something that when you were a kid was common courtesy that you just don't see anymore.
Holding the door open for an elderly person.
Yeah, you don't see that much anymore.
I do it all
still
the time.
do it. Yeah, I was going to
do it.
say, I still do that.
I mean, I do it, but I don't see a whole lot of other people doing it.
Right. No, I don't see that. I remember when I was a kid, young guys would push grocery carts back for the elderly.
Yeah. And I think it's all in how we were brought up, Hans, back then at our generation. We were told by our parents, like, this is how you treat your elders.
But I remember my dad telling me going into a meeting one time with a bunch of old guys, he's like, shut your mouth and learn.
Right.
You know, and that was just kind of common back then.
And it was. And it's just, he was just trying to show you, the rights.
Well, maybe we should have more common courtesy.
Yes.
Get rid of the super fringe, crazy, radical stuff.
Right.
And then bring it to replace that stuff, bring in common courtesy.
Exactly. Especially here in Springfield. You could help an old lady across the street.
I've seen that happen here. I have seen that happen.
Well, that's good because Lord knows they lead the world in most hip people crossing the street.
Oh, I know. Pedestrian deaths here are very high.
And I think it's been that way for years.
I think so too. But you'll see people, and I don't want to judge here, but I'm going to say they're whacked out of their frickin' minds, and they'll just walk right through the middle of the street, cars coming and everything else.
Right.
It makes me feel bad for the people driving. Like, could you imagine the heartache that you would have if you hit somebody?
Right. Yeah.
I'd be like, where am I going to get that dent popped out at?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's also National Single Parent Day. What do you have to say about that, sir?
Oh, well, I was a single parent after my wife passed, and I helped raise my son the rest of the way.
And it was kind of hard.
It was hard, very hard. But you know what? I kept with it,
I would like to salute all the good single parents out there, but not the bad ones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get a cookie just because you're a single parent. You got to be a good single parent to celebrate National Single Parent Day.
You've got to try to be a part of your kid's life.
Yeah. You got to actually care,
Care enough to love,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just watched this thing the other day where this poor gal, and I'm saying that facetiously.
Right.
She slept with her boss because he owned a company and then sued him for like mega support.
So basically she did a roundabout.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then he had the kid most of the time and she was just running around. So, her,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Down the tube.
And then I was watching this other thing. Now, this happened a couple years ago, but true story, happened in Chicago, Illinois. Okay, so more weirdos.
Yeah.
So a doctor, I got to be careful how I say this, but you try to add in, okay?
Okay.
So a doctor is getting a,
Reel it in.
One of those.
The cranker.
Well, imagine the doctor being in a closet with the nurse. Okay?
Yeah.
But, they're not, but the other.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or you have no idea, do you?
I don't have no idea.
Okay, so imagine a doctor standing up and the nurse is kneeling.
Okay.
Okay, are you getting a picture?
I'm getting this picture now.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, now she's all cool and stuff right there, like, hey, I want to date you and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she does that.
Yeah.
And then he does his thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then she takes the thing he did and inserts it in her thing. Do you see where I'm going?
You see where you're going. Yeah.
Okay, like
Yeah.
zip, zip, pop. Okay, she inseminates herself. Okay, then a couple months goes by, and she tells the doc, and he's like, "You're crazy because you can't get Prego from that thing,
Yeah.
Well, then she tells him what she did, and he's extremely irate.
Oh, I bet.
So she has a kid. She goes to court. The judge says, get this, is going to blow your mind. The judge literally said that he shouldn't have been so stupid, but he gave it to her on his own free will, which makes him responsible.
Yes.
For the child. What do you think of that?
Ooh.
What do you think of that?
It's weird, man. But you play hardball, and that's what happened.
Well, I mean, can you say it is what it is?
It is what it is in that situation.
I mean, that sucks for that guy.
It does, but he kind of.
Couldn't that have been like calculated fraud? Shouldn't? I mean,
yeah.
From her, like if she's going to do that because she's counting the beans, if you know what I'm saying.
I think so.
She was counting the beans, and then she did that to get that, to put that in there, to have that, to get the money.
Because she couldn't snap his bean.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know.
So, and he didn't snap the bean he didn't want his bean snapped because he didn't want. You see what I'm saying?
I see it.
It is like Medusa.
It's like a reverse road map.
Yeah. It literally is, but I feel for the doc.
I do too.
It is what it is.
What's up, Doc?
All we can say is we hope it was worth it.
No, man.
And I'm pretty doubtful that it was.
Yeah, he didn't sound too enthused.
Okay, so, we've been talking about these weirdos everywhere, right?
Yes.
Okay. Police arrested a leader of a cult-like Zizian group. You ever heard of that?
I have not.
Linked to multiple killings in the U.S. Almost like, who is that guy from California? Mr. Manson.
Oh, Charles Manson.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. They're kind of like that. Listen to this. The apparent leader of a cult-like group known as the Zizians has been arrested in Maryland along with another member of the group, according to the Maryland State Police. Jack Lasota, 34, was arrested Sunday along with Michelle Jatko, 33, of Media, Pennsylvania. They face multiple charges, including trespassing, obstructing, hindering possession of a handgun in the vehicle. A bail hearing was set. Now, this is way back at the end of February, okay? And I kind of stopped reading that. And then I was like, something's bothering me about this. So I wanted to read on, right?
Right.
So I pulled it back up, and it says, the Zizians have been tied to killing of U.S. Border Patrol agent David Malland near the Canadian border in January. And get this, 5 more homicides in Vermont, Pennsylvania, and California.
Wow.
Malland was killed in a January 20th shootout following a traffic stop in Coventry, Vermont, a small town about 20 miles from the Canadian border. Officials have offered few details about the cross-country investigation, which broke open on January 20th, shooting death of Malland. The Associated Press interviews and a review of court records and online postings tell the story of how a group of young, highly intelligent computer scientists, most of them in their 20s and 30s, met online, shared communist and anarchist belief, and became increasingly violent. Okay, does it sound like it's weird?
It is.
You know what I mean? Like
Very
weirdos,
weird.
Okay? So you got college-educated, communist computer scientists that believe in anarchy.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're literally murdering people.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, I think it's beyond allegedly.
But here it is. It says their goals aren't clear, but online writings span from topics. I'm telling you, veganism, but from radical veganism to gender identity to artificial intelligence. At the middle of all of it, Ziz, who appears to be the leader of the strange group members who call themselves the Zizians, she has been seen near multiple crime scenes and has connections with multiple suspects. Lesota published a dark and sometimes violent blog under the name Ziz, and in one section described the theory that the two hemispheres of the brain could hold separate values and genders and often desire to kill each other. Your thoughts, Gret?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we're dealing with some sickos, man. Like the Manson family, like the guy out of Waco, Texas, Koresh or whatever, David Koresh.
I mean, this is some really weird stuff, right?
And it's just like the type of stuff that they did.
Okay, so they believe that she's a transgender woman. That's probably why this story didn't go very far.
Right.
And she also went on these weird rants going against perceived enemies in so-called rationalist groups and nationalist groups, which mostly operate online and seek to understand human cognition through reason and knowledge. That's who her enemies were.
Wow.
People that are seeking to understand human cognition through reason and knowledge. Then she goes on and talked about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. I'm just saying, where is this coming from? What is she on?
She's got it, on something.
Do you think some of the people that are, walking in Springfield here and getting smoked, do you think that they're smoking whatever she's smoking?
I think she's smoking way worse.
There's something.
Yeah.
Okay, multiple states have warrants for her arrest. And, usually when you get into these types of things, the Zizians, historically, you find a lot more stuff that they've done.
Oh, I'm sure.
But this one's just so weird and so messed up. I mean, this is very America 2025, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Unfortunately, that's the road we're in. We need to get off this road. But, yeah.
I'm telling you, it gets worse. Well, I don't know if it gets worse. A man and a woman, they go on vacation in Michigan, right? Yeah. No, I don't know why you'd go to Michigan, maybe northern Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, you sure wouldn't go to Detroit for vacation, would you?
Heck no.
That'd be like going to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
The police were called to this Michigan hotel because the people that were staying there forgot to take their pet alligator. Okay, let me ask you something. How do you forget a pet alligator?
Yeah.
You know what? Literally.
As big as it is, and you brought it with you, how can you forget? That's the thing.
This alligator was over 3 feet. His name was Wally, and he belongs to a man that owns a lot of exotic animals and takes them to elementary schools for demonstrations, which makes me even crazier scared.
Yeah.
Okay, what if the
3-foot gator bites a kid's hand off or arm?
Well, here's the thing. What if he left it in a school bathroom?
Yeah, if he's careless enough to leave it in a motel.
Poor old Johnny goes in to take a leak and...
Johnny don't have nothing.
Schmack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said the owner was contacted and told police he knew Wally was missing, but didn't realize that he had been left at the motel. All I'm saying is that there's something not right about that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, there's not.
We talked, when we first started doing the show, and we were talking about the movie Novacaine.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, it's got Jack Quaid in it. It's from Steven Soderbergh. Anyways, listen to this. You tell me what you think. Now that you see this, are you going to watch it? Novacaine leads numbingly slow weekend at domestic box office. It's an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
It says it's slow, but it's got 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. But what I've found with Rotten Tomatoes, I don't necessarily agree with them very often.
You and me both. They've said a lot of movies that were bad that I actually like.
Right. So, I mean, are you going to go see this?
Oh, I would see it just because they say it is bad.
Well, it said that it only made $10.5 million, which sounds like a lot, but that's nothing.
No, that's nothing. No.
I mean, nothing for what they're doing. You know what I mean?
But what movies was it up against? That's the thing.
Well, and we talked about them a couple days ago. I mean, there was some good movies that it was up against.
That's probably the reason why.
I guess there is such a thing as the importance of scheduling a release.
It is. It is.
And maybe that's how they get over on one another.
I think so.
Like that dirty, rotten, you know what?
Yeah.
So we're going to release it the same time they're releasing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many shows have we done where we've talked about the slippers from the Wizard of Oz?
Well, we've talked about it quite often.
Right. And so, I mean, this story was just fitting. Prosecutors, isn't that weird? Prosecutors say Minnesota man accused of hiding stolen ruby slippers from the Wizard of Oz is dead.
Oh, wow. The house landed on him, huh?
Well, I saw this and I was like, wow. Talk about deja vu. Like 3 times now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a federal judge dismissed the charges Monday against a Minnesota man accused of hiding a stolen pair of ruby slippers that Judy Garland wore in the 1939 musical The Wizard of Oz after prosecutors informed the court that he had died on Sunday. Jerry Hal Salerman, 77, of Crystal, Minnesota, who had been in poor health with lung disease and other ailments, had been scheduled to change his plea to guilty in January, but that hearing was postponed indefinitely after he was hospitalized with his sickness. Federal prosecutor Matthew Greenlee notified the court in a 1-page motion Monday that Selderman had died Sunday, but it did not say how or where. U.S. District Judge Patrick Schilt granted the request and dropped the charges. Defense attorney John Brink confirmed Monday that his client had died but declined to give details. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Fargo, North Dakota, which is handling the case, did not return their phone call. So you want to know my question?
What's up?
Where's the slippers?
Yeah.
All that to be said, that he hit them, and if they had them, then he could have said, I didn't hide them, I didn't whatever. But he switched his plea to guilty.
Yes.
So the most important part of the story is not even in the story. You know what I'm saying?
I know it. Yep.
My other thing was this guy has been in a wheelchair and on oxygen for at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. He was charged with theft of major artwork also. Please tell me. It says that they were stolen in 2005 from the Judy Garland Museum in her hometown of Grand Rapids. This remained a mystery for 13 years until the FBI recovered them in 2018. They fetched a record movie memorabilia of $32.5 million in December. I remember that. The slippers were one of several pairs Garland wore during the film, and 3 other pairs remain. So, how did they do it? Where are the things? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But is it weird to you that Judy Garland's ruby red slippers were literally important enough for the FBI to go look for them?
I think it's weird because all of this is movie. It ain't like it's real life that's killing or hurting anybody, but still, it is theft.
Well, see, he's not the only guy.
No.
There was another Terry John Martin of Grand Rapids that used a hammer to smash the glass of the museum's door and display case to steal them.
Yeah.
And he had an associate that had connections to the mob and told him the shoes had been adorned with real jewels to justify their $1 million insured value. Do you believe that?
I don't know.
Well, what I'm saying is there's multiple men that have stolen multiple pairs of Judy Garland's ruby red shoes, And it was important enough in America that the FBI actually went and found these guys. I find the story crazy. Is it just me?
It is. I mean, it's crazy, but no, it's not you.
I hope not. One more thing, Gred. I'm just going to read the very top of this, and then I want you to give a lengthy description of what you think. But an unnamed French politician has made an anonymous call for Trump and America to return Lady Liberty. What do you think about that?
Well, for one, you guys gave it to us, because of where we fought and helped during the war.
Hey, we kept their country speaking French, brother.
Right, we did. And the thing is, if you want it that bad, you could take the sun god back if you want. We don't need her.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice gesture,
but we don't worship the sun god in this country. So
well,
take her back.
You know what KOA stands for, right?
What's that?
Kiss our, arse. That's KOA, France.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for being here. That is today's show, Friday. We have a doozy of a bunch of great shows next week, don't we, Gred?
We do.
Awesome ones. We're getting back into the segments. We're doing some funny stuff.
It's going to be a great song for Wednesday, it's looking like.
And finally, I think we're getting the other donut place that's number 2. We're doing that finally, right?
Finally. We're doing it.
I just got to say, it's not on Hans. It's on Gret.
It is on me.
It's on Gret.
You got to remember, Gret is a busy guy, but Gret is trying to work it in.
Yeah, well, we're going to, and I'm actually pretty darn excited about it.
I am.
So, folks, we love you. Thanks for listening to Morning Crankers. If you got anything to say, morningcrankers@gmail.com. That's morningcrankers@gmail.com.
Yes.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.